All right, in less than an hour, the Pentagon is holding a news conference to bring us up to date on the latest on Operation Epic Fury. CENTCOM is releasing new video from the mission.
It comes as Iran retaliates after Israeli forces struck an Iranian gas field near Qatar.
And our chief foreign correspondent, Trey Yingst, joins us now from Tel Aviv with the latest on the ground there. Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. A lot of developments on the energy front overnight after Israeli forces struck the South Pars gas field in southern Iran. This was a strike that, according to Israeli officials, was coordinated with the United States. But you can see here the aftermath of those strikes, black smoke rising from the horizon there near to the Strait of Hormuz. In response, the Iranians launched ballistic missiles toward the Ras Laffan facility in Qatar. This is the world's largest producer of liquefied natural gas. And Qatari officials released a statement just about 9 hours ago saying the civil defense has fully contained 2 out of the 3 fires in the Ras Laffan industrial area with no injuries reported. Cooling and securing operations at the sites are ongoing, while the explosives group of the Internal Security Force is carrying out its tasks in handling any hazardous elements. Now, President Trump overnight took to Truth Social to say, in part, quote, Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. And so, again, a little bit of disconnect between the Americans and the Israelis as to what led to these initial strikes that caused the Iranian retaliation against energy infrastructure. The Iranians are still launching attacks against Gulf countries and U.S. ally Israel. You can see overnight there were a number of cluster munitions fired toward this country. 7 separate barrages since midnight have triggered air raid sirens across Israel. In the West Bank, 3 Palestinian women were killed. They were in a salon at the time when part of an Iranian ballistic missile slammed into this area. Another person was killed in central Israel. We know a foreign worker. Now, a spokesperson for the Israeli military, Brigadier General Effie Defrin, spoke about the ongoing efforts to shoot down this incoming fire.
We have air defense systems. I can already say they are among the best in the world. This is proven. Unfortunately, the defense is not airtight. We use our systems to intercept these missiles. These cluster missiles are a war crime if this terrorist regime targets them at population centers. There is no difference from a regular missile except for its dispersion.
We do know that as the Israelis are coming under more fire, some of these missiles are actually being intercepted over the city of Jerusalem. Shrapnel rained down earlier this week near to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Israeli police say they have closed all of the holy sites in Jerusalem as this war continues, and over concern that the ballistic missile fire will continue to target the population here. Guys?
Trey, can you tell us why the Israelis, I mean, every target, there's a purpose behind that. So what is their stated purpose for targeting those facilities, those gas facilities?
The short answer is we can't really get into the mindset of the Israelis or the Americans when it comes to specific targets that are hit when it relates to energy infrastructure. And throughout the day, you're going to hear a lot of back and forth between American and Israeli officials as to who ordered this strike and who was actually looped in. What we do know is that the South Pars gas field accounts for 10% of the world's natural gas reserve. And this is significant because when a gas field is struck, there is a ripple effect across the global energy economy. And when we look at this particular gas field, it is actually connected. It's shared. It's split in half. Qatar runs half of it, and the Iranians run the other half. And that was why you heard yesterday Qatari officials speaking out over concern about a rapid escalation ladder across the region, because the Iranians are now not just responding against Qatar's energy infrastructure, but they're also targeting Kuwait, they're targeting the UAE and Bahrain. And the concern for these Gulf countries is that if they come under more attack, they will have to keep some of these facilities closed, and it will affect global energy prices. Now, we should note this is also connected to the Strait of Hormuz and concern that the Iranians will continue to try and fire on vessels there. There are a variety of options for the Trump administration to secure the strait, but this is, again, escalating in the region because the Iranians are so unpredictable in what they're willing to target. We also heard Gulf countries today meeting and saying the Iranians must stop their fire, and they're actually considering offensive action against the Iranian regime.
All right, so Trey, when we woke up this morning and we're learning about the South Pars gas field, we did our research and we're really diving into why this is so significant for the rest of the world. So Israel strikes the South Pars gas field, and that's located in Iran, but they also share a part of that with Qatar. So then Iran fights back and they attack this major energy facility, or several of them, in the Gulf neighboring states. It caused higher gas prices. It caused President Trump to write this on Truth Social: no more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. We're learning also this is the world's largest natural gas reserve, Iran's biggest source of domestic energy supply, Trey, which means that's how they heat their homes. That's where they get their electricity. And the entire gas field contains an estimated 1,800 trillion cubic feet of usable gas, which is enough to supply the world's needs for 13 years. So if we came to a point where we had to blow up this entire thing, what would that mean for the rest of the world?
It would mean decades of efforts to try and recover this gas field to use it again. We're looking again at a very serious escalation ladder in the Middle East, and we have to view the battlefield as it is. The reality is the United States and Israel are decimating the Iranian regime. They've taken out much of its navy. They are going after these ballistic missile launching positions. They have systematically killed off Iranian leaders. But Iran still poses a threat to the Middle East. It still poses a threat to Gulf countries. And they still have missiles, drones, cruise missiles, and mines in their arsenal that can be used. And again, we've talked with Israeli officials who say they expect this to continue for at least a few more weeks, if not more. And so there are very serious decisions that will have to be made by President Trump, the U.S. administration, and the Israelis as to what types of targets they are going to hit and what the effect of those targetings will be on the entire world, the energy economy, and the reality for the Iranians, which is that they are a country that we know is incredibly unpredictable. They are willing, oftentimes, to fire on residential and civilian areas. They are willing to target energy infrastructure in the Gulf. And really nothing is off limits for the Iranian regime. And so that is the enemy that the United States is facing at this moment, an unpredictable enemy that, again, is willing to create chaos in the region.
All right, Trey, thanks so much. Attacking energy, there's an upside and a downside. Appreciate it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.